guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, I'm back and it is Saturday, August the 31st, and it is 10:17 p.m. Well, I got all my research done for this, and then I went to see a movie with my sister-in-law, and when I came back, I felt like all hell had broken loose because it just seemed like so much has happened since I left to go see this movie. So I've taken a little bit of extra time to kind of look into this mass fruiting that has happened in Odessa, Midland area of Texas. And, I haven't had enough time, and there's not enough information out to really make an educated decision as to whether or not this was an FF, and I know you know what that means. But my first inclination is to say that it is. And we're going to kind of look at that. And of course, we have Hurricane Dorian that is still barreling down on the U.S. And it's interesting because they're saying it's a Category 4, and yet I was reading that the winds are at 150 miles per hour. And isn't that a Category 5? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know what is going on with this storm, but it's unusual. Anyway, let's, what I'm going to do, I do have some other news to get to, but I wanted to just draw your attention to something about this mass fruiting, okay? Because I found this Facebook post about Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, Walmart fruiting not true. Now, this is from the 15th of August, and you see here, it says Midland, Odessa, Texas. The Midland and Odessa police departments are letting the public know that a post circulating on social media about an alleged fruiting threat is a hoax. Oh, really? Is it now? Doesn't, it just seems a little odd that this came out on the 15th of August. The following comes from the Odessa Police Department. The Odessa Police Department was recently made aware of information being shared on social media sites about potentially armed persons being detained by the Lubbock Police Department prior to them heading to the Midland, Odessa area. We reached out with the law enforcement community with Lubbock Police Department and found that this information was not true. In fact, this was a hoax message spread to cause fear in our community. The Odessa Police Department wants to remind the public to be aware of their surroundings at all times. If you see something out of the ordinary that does not appear right, please call 911 to report the information. We strive on the public's support in helping us stay aware of what is going on in the community. The following comes from the Midland Police Department. The Midland Police Department has contacted the Lubbock Police Department and Texas Rangers, and their social media posts of a shooter coming to Walmart in Midland cannot be substantiated. There is no information to validate this report. When reading a post on social media, please look to verified law enforcement agency pages for validated information. We will continue to monitor such reports. Now, I just find this, call me crazy, but I just tend to find this a little bit suspicious, seeing as that was on the 15th. Today is the 31st, and lo and behold, what do we have in that area? A mass fruiting. Now, want to show you one other thing. Now, I haven't had a lot of opportunity here to research in depth because this happened while I was gone. So bear with me here, but I'm just giving you a cursory of what I have found and how I feel about this. Now, does it matter how I feel about this? No, not really. But I think that in times like this, it's important because we know the drill, right? We know what they've done in the past with these types of events, and we know that they have been less than forthcoming and honest about the origin of these events and who the perpetrators are and why. We know that there have been many FFs done by the deep state. And the reason why this catches my attention immediately is I went to Twitter and I put in Odessa shooting, and I wanted to look at what came up. And there was just post after post after post by the same people you would expect to hear from. Beto, Booker, Pelosi. I mean, there were several, and I can't remember them all right off the top of my head, but I'm sure you can do that for yourself and find who is immediately right on the trigger to spew out the anti-gun narrative. And that is, I mean, that's what post after post after post was about, the anti-gun narrative, and blaming Trump, and oh, he's out golfing while this is happening. Well, what's he supposed to do? You know, I mean, the police are handling this, and as well they should. And I'm sure that the FBI will probably get involved. And so, what is Trump going to do at this point? I mean, the victims are still being treated. I haven't even heard how many victims there were, although I did hear that there were 30 that had been fruited. So I don't know. But here we have this from August 15th. A little bit odd to me. And the fact that these people were right there to get those posts in about the anti-gun narrative, that's a little suspicious to me. But all right. Now let's go over here, and I want you to listen to this. And I'm a little bit hesitant to put this out there because, well, you know how they scrub things. But this is so-called, you know, and again, there's so much up in the air about this, because I heard that they attacked a mail truck, and then, you know, there it looks like they're shooting in the back of a Walmart, like back of a Walmart, not inside. And I don't know how many people have been attacked, but they said that there was 2 of them, 2 fruiters, and that one has been caught, and that they were just randomly trying to shoot people. So I don't know, but these people are supposedly, and I do say supposedly because, yeah, if you were in the middle of a mass fruiting, would you not have a little bit of fear in your voice? I would think so. I wouldn't be on my cell phone saying, hey, I'm in the middle of a fruiting. Who does that? No one. That's who. But let's listen to these very, very poor, perhaps actors, perhaps just eyewitnesses. You decide.
There's a shooting going on in Odessa, Texas. Oh God, they're shooting right there. Oh, he hits the barrier. The cop just hit the barrier. Get out, get out, get out.
Get out, get out, get out, get out.
Stand still. He's shooting him, he's shooting him. Oh, he's killed him, killed him.
Man, there's a shooting. We're watching the shooting happen.
Oh, he's shooting him up. He hit the barrier.
Now, I'm not, okay, first of all, you've got the girl saying, oh, we're watching a shooting. Oh, you know, really? Like, wouldn't your first inclination be to put that car in reverse and get out of there? Really? You're just sitting there listening to all these, you know, rounds of bullets and doing a blow-by-blow. Oh, he hit the car. Oh, he's shooting him. Oh, he shot him. Really? Because I don't think that's credible. That's me, granted. And I am not telling you what to think or how to feel about this. And I will admit that it's a little bit early to make any, you know, correct assertion. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. So I don't have anything else about it because, as I said, I just walked in from being out and, you know, saw that this had happened. So I've tried to gather as much as I could as quickly as I could, because I knew that if I didn't do it quickly, I wouldn't get it done and get this out there and uploaded. All right. So let's leave that for a minute and talk about the hurricane, Dorian. It now looks like it may miss Florida. But again, I caution people, and no, I'm not a weather forecaster, and maybe that's good because they don't seem to know any more than anyone else what this hurricane is going to do. But I would caution anyone in saying, oh, it's definitely going to do this or it's definitely going to do that, because we don't know. And sorry, I thought I had a button open there and I didn't want to flash anybody. But anyway, it looks like it may hit further up, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, I don't know. But just be cautious, please. And it's not going to be good because maybe some of the people, have evacuated from Florida and moved up the coast. I don't know. Hopefully not. But anyway, let me get back to here, and I am going to go on with the Q-related news because I don't really have anything additional about either the fruiting or the hurricane. So let's hit on this, and I don't know what this is, to tell you the truth. I can't remember. It was hours ago. Oh, yes. And I do have to be careful about this as well. Apparently, there is a CIA-owned airline, and they are responsible for the chemtrailing, and their name is E.Green. Well, isn't that interesting? And I had said about the chapel being called E.Green at Camp David. Well, this is just another, it's out there. And this is from June 2012. So, it's interesting. Besides this outfit, it is reported that, I really don't want to say that word, trail planes, I'm just going to say trail planes also fly out of U.S. and other NATO military bases in the U.S. and around the world. E.Green Air is a CIA front company for chemtrail operations, within the U.S., based out of Marana Air Park near Tucson, Arizona, and McMinnville, Oregon, near Portland. A major missing piece of a grand conspiracy has been targeted by a drunk pilot. In a small town 30 miles east of the Pacific Ocean in Oregon is the center of a major global operation. At a bar in McMinnville, Oregon, an inebriated pilot attempted to impress one of the pretty ladies with tales of his secret mission. The pilot's pathetic attempt to portray himself as Sean Connery or Daniel Craig caused him to ante up his importance and spill the secrets of the C_A's asset, E.G. International Aviation. The slurred revelation confirms suspicions that E.G. International Aviation is part of the major crap dump on the planet. Trails made up of aluminum, barium, and other ingredients contribute to respiratory ills and change the acidity of the soil. E.G. works from over 100 bases and employs 4,500 people. Delford Smith privately owns the company. They admittedly perform for the C_A. E.G. was given a no-contest bid that gave them all the facilities in Marana, Arizona, that previously belonged to C_A's Air America, Pinal Park, Arizona. The security at the Pinal site is said to be severe as that of Area 51. It is run as a military base where one lost pilot got an armed escort immediately off the operational base. The 10-year pilot said it was nothing like anything he had ever seen. E.G. International brags of their planes that have 7 times the capacity of other firefighters. One can carry 20,000 gallons. Firefighting, right. And next we will be told the trails are to prevent global warming, as millions more are advancing to an early death. E.G. International has exemptions from the law that are advertised on their website. They can fly anywhere and not stay on a designated route. Has CFR members paved the way? People like Philip Lader and John Wheeler III, they were in a position to do just that. E.G.'s public relations propaganda spokesman is handled by WPP, run by Council on Foreign Relations member Philip Lader. He worked under the present head of the C_A, Leon Panetta, as White House Deputy of staff under Bill Clinton. Bill Lauder is an inside authority on international affairs and business. He is the non-executive chairman of WPP Group, senior advisor to Morgan Stanley International, and a board member for think tank RAND Corporation. He is also a trustee of UC Russell, largest aluminum company in the world, the British Museum, and St. Paul's Cathedral Foundation. Ambassador later has addressed transatlantic audiences from the UN's General Assembly Hall to state chambers of commerce and local World Affairs Councils, and is a member of the Rockefeller Council on Foreign Relations. Philip Lauder, CFR, is a key player driving toward world government. In addition to running the public relations for E.Green International, Lauder is a director of UC Russell, the largest aluminum producer in the world, located in Moscow, Sweden, Italy, and Australia. Nathaniel Rothschild is a big investor. Eugenic operation of trails has been the assistance of Mitra, a non-profit corporation that manages the Federal Aviation Administration, Homeland Security, and IRS. The IRS is part of the Federal Reserve, which is a major transmission belt driving the conspiracy. Philip Lauder's fellow Council on Foreign Relations member, John P. Wheeler III, was recently dumped into a landfill in Wilmington, Delaware. Wheeler III was a consultant to Mitra, the nonprofit corporation with jurisdictional advice over the Federal Aviation Administration's flight patterns. Was John P. Wheeler III too sentimental for the killing underway and got murdered by the company? The C_A is the enforcement arm of the Council on Foreign Relations. Mitra is conveniently located in McLean, Virginia, home of the C_A. Thanks to the drunken pilot and his loose lips, the free people of the world can focus on criminals who are poisoning our air and our water. Now, this is gobsmacking. It's the first time I've heard this. And this is a very old article. This is from June 23rd, 2012. So it's interesting when Q talks about E.Green, yes, it could refer to Hillary. It could refer to this. It could refer to a number of things. But I think it's interesting that we keep digging, because we don't know the truth yet. There's a whole lot of stuff that is left to dig. And let me tell you, we've got enough digging to last our entire life just on what Q has dropped alone in the last, couple years. Seriously. He gave us, remember, he kept saying, we have it all and you have more than you know. That is something that he keeps repeating over and over. You have more than you know. And we do. I do believe that there is enough hints in what he has provided to keep us digging for a very long time. So let's keep digging. Anyway, I wanted to show you that. I think it's very important. And let me go back now, because I do want to get through as much as I can in the time that I have. All right, now let's look at this. New Mexico trying to seize parts of Epic Fine's Zorro Ranch. Now this is interesting. Now look at this. There's nobody around here. He's out in the middle of nowhere, and look at this palatial place. Big Z there for Zorro. And, there's lots of well, not lots, but there's vehicles there. And I would imagine that there is a staff to keep, to keep up this place, because really one person couldn't do it, and he's not there enough to be able to do anything. So you can tell that the grounds are very well maintained and lush, and there's that house is simply huge. So what went on there? Well, I think we can imagine. But let's look at this. New Mexico's Attorney General wants officials to revoke a deal that allowed Epic Fine to lease state land for his Zorro Ranch, where he allegedly sexually abused multiple women. The leased land near Stanley comprises part of the dead corn niblet lover nearly 10,000 acre estate. 10,000 acres is huge, massive. On Thursday, AG Hector Balderas asked the state to retake the 1,244 acres of grassland after a probe by his office found that it was improperly leased in the late 1990s. The original lease to Epic Find appears to have no beneficial use jurisdiction to the state, Balderas said in an emailed statement. The sweetheart deal must have been canceled and reassigned to a New Mexico ranching family. Leases were signed by Epic Find's holding company, Cypress Inc., in 1997 and 1999 and indicated the property would be used for grazing, according to New Mexico State Land Office. But the AG's investigation found no cattle on the land. Balderas said the leases appear to simply have been taken by him, Epic Find, to increase privacy in the landmass surrounding his estate. Zorro Ranch is the sprawling site where Epic Find planned to artificially inseminate women. He purchased the ranch from the family of former Governor Bruce King, who died 10 years ago. The property features an airplane hangar, landing strip, and other luxe amenities. So this will be interesting. If they take possession of this ranch, what will they find there? Well, I think we probably already know what they'll find. At least we hope they will. I don't like the fact that they've just dropped the charges or whatever against Epic Find, because I do think that they should be going after, those that assisted him, like Ghislaine, and others. So I don't know. I don't believe we're done with this. So I really don't. But time will tell. Anyway, let's go back now and let's look at this. This is something really good. Look at this little airplane. Wouldn't you just love to have one of those? I would. I'd love to have my pilot's license. Just in, Trump is reportedly ready to declassify documents related to Uranium One, Obama-Iran deal, and Hillary emails. For the past 2.5 years, Americans have become increasingly frustrated over the Trump administration's inability to reveal the truth about former President Barack Obama's dirty dealing with Iran and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's involvement in the Uranium One deal and with her government email scandal. According to John Solomon of The Hill, President Trump is set to declassify the documents that will shed some light for Americans on all three of these serious national security issues. This is very good news, people. Very, very good news. This is what we want. John Solomon of The Hill writes, "My sources tell me President Trump is putting the finishing touches on a White House initiative to declassify documents that have remained hidden from the public for far too long. This welcome effort to provide more public transparency and accountability almost certainly will focus early on the failings of the now debunked Russia collusion probe, and I'm sure it will spread quickly towards other high-profile issues, such as the government's UFO files that have been a focus of clamoring for decades. But my reporting indicates 3 sets of documents from the Obama years should be declassified immediately too, because they will fundamentally change the public's understanding of history and identify ways to improve governance. The first includes the national security assessment that the U.S. intelligence community conducted under President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton concerning the Russia nuclear giant Rosatom's effort to acquire uranium business in the United States. And the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, made up of Secretary Clinton and 8 other senior federal where did I lost my my place all of a sudden. And 8 other senior federal officials approved Rosatom's purchase of mining company Uranium One's U.S. assets in the fall of 2010, even as the FBI was gathering evidence that the Russian company's American arm was engaged in bribery, kickbacks, and extortion. Sources who have seen these classified assessments tell me they debunk the last administration's storyline that there were no national security reasons to oppose Rosatom's Uranium One purchase of Vladimir Putin's successful efforts to secure billions of dollars in a new nuclear fuel contract with American utilities during the Obama years. Under Obama, sensitive foreign acquisitions almost routinely were rubber stamped by CFIUS, and the approval process sometimes was delegated by cabinet officials on the CFIUS committee to lower ranking aides. The second body of documents crying out for declassification is Obama's private correspondence with Iranian leaders. In particular, the October 7th, 2014, the cable he penned to Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, setting the terms for the controversial Washington-Tehran nuclear deal reached in early 2016. My sources tell me that letter conflicts with what the Obama administration was telling the American public as it tried to sell the deal politically, and it shows a level of courtship, concession, and trust with Tehran that exceeded the U.S. intelligence assessments at that time. The 2014 letter was preceded by at least 3 other private communications between Obama and officials in Tehran, including 2 in 2009 and 1 in 2012. All need to be declassified and released for Americans to better understand the merits of Obama's approach with Iran. The final Obama-era tranche that requires declassification concerns Hillary Clinton's email controversy, a highly classified set of documents that FBI agents identified as important and necessary in the investigation into whether she violated the law by transmitting classified emails on her unsecured private server. Trump has an unprecedented opportunity to close the loop on these controversies and to give Americans more transparency and visibility into what happened, as well as how we can make government better when national security is at stake. So this is good. I pray that he does declassify whatever we need as a country to be able to understand what has happened and who has transgressed the law. And I think we need that transparency in so far as we can get without compromising national security. So that's how I feel about this anyway. But let's go back. I'm trying to stay on task and get as much information to you as I can. Now, this is interesting. It is by Donald J. Trump. And at first, he tweeted this at 8:15 a.m. this morning. And I would assume that's Eastern time, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it was at 8:15 a.m. Has anyone noticed that the top shows on Fox News and cable ratings are those that are fair or great to your favorite president? Me? Congratulations to Sean Hannity for being the #1 shoe on cable television. Now, we know from Q's correspondence with us that all of these mistakes are for a reason. Misspellings matter. And so that should be a W instead of an E there. And, I don't believe that's a typo, to tell you the truth. I think it means something, and I think in time we will know precisely what it means. But he retweeted this, and he retweeted it at 10:24, making sure that everyone had at least 2 hours to get this and see that tweet. So then he retweeted this. Has anyone noticed that the top shows on Fox News and cable ratings are those that are fair or great to your favorite president? Me? Congratulations to Sean Hannity for being the #1 show on cable television. Now, the other thing I noticed here is that fair, he has capitalized, and fair does not need to be capitalized in this sentence, which would make this a grammatical error. Well, not grammatical, it would be more of a spelling. Well, I don't know. It's a capitalization error anyway, because that should not be capitalized. And we know that all these things matter, right? So we have this, and let me see if he put that capital up here. He did. He capitalized it here, and what else do we have? That is the one that sticks out to me. I'm not sure. I guess you would capitalize that, or could, but it wouldn't necessarily need to be. But it's interesting. I don't know if any of you guys have heard from anybody else that covers this, what they are saying about this, and if they have decoded anything. I have not been able to. I don't know. I know it means something. I know it's very obvious that it means something. I'm just unsure of what it means, but I'm going to stay with it until I do. I would not be surprised if at some point, Serial Brain comes out with a decode of this, because he's very, very gifted at that. All right, and this from John Brennan. Jim Comey is far more decent, ethical, honest, competent, and patriotic than you could ever hope to be. It is only because the AG and Republican senators refuse to put this country above party that you are not in a world of trouble and hurt. But their protective cocoon is only temporary. Now, he is sending this to, this is a message to Donald J. Trump, our president. So I would assume I would take this if I was the president. And of course, that would never happen. Yeah. Anyway, if, I would take this as a threat. Would you not take this as a threat if somebody wrote this about you? So he's saying, oh yeah, Comey's better than you by far. He's more patriotic, competent, honest, ethical. Collective eye roll, anyone? It does feel better. And yeah, and he's saying it's only because the AG and Republican senators refuse to put country above party that you are not in a world of trouble and hurt. But their protective cocoon is only temporary. Oh, really? Really? What does that mean? Yeah, so he's saying that, it's because the Republicans, they're being loyal to their party and they're not putting the country, above their personal feelings about their party. And so, they're right now they're acting like this protective cocoon around you because they're more loyal to their party than they are to their country. But he's saying that cocoon is only temporary. Interesting. It'll be very, very interesting. That is one guy. I mean, he's got the ugliest mug, and I don't mean that as, derogatory or whatever. I do mean it as derogatory, but it's like, I have seen people that are not attractive by any stretch of the imagination, but there's something inner about them that makes them beautiful. And it's because what's in their spirit shines through their face. And the opposite is true of John Brennan. Sure, he could probably be a halfway decent man, but that anger and bitterness and vileness exudes from his face, and literally he does look like he's always constipated. Maybe he is. I don't know. And I don't care. All right. Now, I'm not sure what this is.
Is it true that the Prophet Muhammad...
Oh, yes. Okay. This is kind of a little bit off topic, but this Canadian, and I'm ashamed that this is a Canadian, but Canadian Muslim scholar explains why loving corn niblets is okay in Islam. And she cites the Quran. Now, I'm not going to play this because it's 9 minutes long, and we've got enough stuff to get to, but this is disgusting, absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to go back now, and let me see. Here is a bit of good news for us, okay? And we need a bit of good news, don't you think? I think we do. Okay. Now, all right, why aren't you going anywhere? Come on. All right. Now, TV stations across America to bring back the national anthem. That is extremely good news. I remember as a kid, and you know, a lot of our TV stations here were American. That's before they started, they enacted a law that I think it's 33% of all Canadian programming has to be Canadian. And they want to protect Canada from, you know, they want our own identity and so forth. And that's part of why they did that. But back then I would always, like, you know, it would go off at a certain time of night, like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it would go off. And the last thing they do is play the national anthem. For the American stations and for the Canadian stations, they would play the Canadian national anthem. So I would really welcome those days back. It's about time this tradition came back. Patriotism wasn't controversial yesteryear. America was good. Communism was bad. The Bible was true. People worked hard. Marriages stayed together. Kids got spanked. Life was good. And it's not like life is bad now. By every conceivable measure, we are materially better off, even if our souls appear to be withering at an alarming rate. Air conditioning is pretty much everywhere, except in crazy New England. TVs are either 70-inch wide or fit on our refrigerator doors. We have satellite uplinks to every piece of knowledge humanity has formalized since, Alexandria, and the uplinks fit in our pockets. Hearts can be transplanted. Cars are safer and more comfortable, though decidedly less cool. But material prosperity does very little for the soul. And it turns out it does very little for loyalty to one's country as well. Just look at developed countries. It seems that as wealth increases, loyalty to one's country decreases. Patriotism has been and continues dropping, the New York Post reported in July. Nexstar Media Group, however, wants to reverse that, at least in part. The 171 Nexstar TV stations across the country are going to bring back the national anthem to the public airwaves, a place the anthem has long been missing for far too long. When television first began to spread across the country, stations regularly closed the broadcast day by airing test patterns and that Star-Spangled Banner. I bet you we can all remember that. You know, unless some of you are very young, then you might not, but I think most of us remember that. And I remember that so well. An old memory, the test pattern. Yes. As 24-hour programming grew in popularity, the opportunity to close out the broadcast day shrunk, and eventually the idea of the national anthem being played on TV just because was lost entirely. I had to explain this to my own children not very long ago. I'm not sure which baffled them more, a seemingly random playing of a song at the same time every day, or the idea that things didn't air on TV 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. By the end of our conversation, they knew that the song and the playing of it was not random. Beginning on September 2nd, Nexstar stations will begin playing the anthem again, but this time at the beginning of the day. Nexstar has also added a brilliant twist to the revived tradition. Each morning, a unique version of the Star-Spangled Banner will play, performed by up-and-coming musicians, according to KSN News in Oklahoma. Nexstar's core mission is to provide exceptional service to the local communities where we operate across America through our organization-wide commitment to localism, unbiased local broadcast journalism, and telling the local stories that matter to our viewers and their families. Tim Bush, president of Nexstar Broadcasting, Inc., said in a news release according to The Hill. Nexstar's local team takes great pride in their ability to bring the local communities they serve together, and that is why we are excited to partner with BMI and Belmont University to broadcast this new daily series featuring the Star Spangled Banner that will air 365 days each year. The collaboration, I'm skipping a bit. The collaboration between the network and musicians will not only bring back a patriotic tradition, but it will also provide a chance for aspiring artists to get national exposure. As globalism and attacks on Americans' history and founding, like the New York Times 1619 Project, increase, patriotism will decrease even faster than it has been. One remedy for that, however, is to bring patriotism back to the forefront of the entertainment industry. Showing pride in this country and our traditions will help reinvigorate that lost patriotic spirit. Returning the national anthem to TV daily can help make that happen. Now, what do you think about that? I would imagine most, if not all of you, would think that this is a wonderful idea. I most certainly do. Anything to bring back patriotism, anything to bring back traditions that have been lost. And we should be proud of our country. Absolutely, we should be. So there you go. Now, I am going to leave it there for tonight. I'm a little bit later tonight than I intended on being, but yes, and yes, I did want to hit on this. I'm not gonna belabor this and bring it up and read through it. But Boris Johnson refuses apology, saying women burqas look like letterboxes. Well, they kind of do. Anyway, so that's it. And I am going to stop there. And I have my furry feline friend back here, Xander. And before I go, and if you guys, I know some of you don't like chatting, and so you're free to, because this is going to be a little bit of, just a tiny bit of chatter. But I found out that my furry feline friend back here, Xander, is I was getting very worried because he just didn't seem to be thriving. He's like probably a third of the size of Sammy, and I feed him, but he never gains any weight, and he eats like a pig, but he never gains any weight. He's completely so fixated on being with me wherever I am, and very, very needy, very, very, very smart, and very inquisitive and curious. Never stops. He just kind of goes until he falls over. And so anyway, I happened to be on YouTube and I saw this cat video and I clicked on it, and it was a Oriental short hair. And all of a sudden I went, oh, that's Xander. Oh my gosh, the long tail, way longer than his body, it should be, and it tapers to a point, which is very different from other cats. And there's several other things that I recognized in Xander. I thought, oh my gosh, he's got to be, if not purebred, he's definitely mainly Oriental, not Oriental, I don't know where I'm getting that from. Yes, Oriental short hair. Yes, that's where I'm getting it from, because it's what I should say. So anyway, I found that very, very interesting. He loves water. He likes to actually jump into the bath, which I'm not really thrilled about. But anyway, so there you go. I found out I have a Oriental short hair. I didn't know they existed before. I'd never seen a cat like that, but it explains why he's got these long, long legs and this very thin body. And they say it's very dangerous to overfeed them because they are not bred for their legs to withstand extra weight of their body. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And that's it for tonight. I will be back tomorrow, and I will hopefully be able to gain a few insights into what has been happening today. So I'll see you then. Thank you guys so much. And also there were a few people that donated through coffee, and I will mention that at the first of my next video, because I do appreciate it so very much. So very, very much. As you know, I'm not monetized, so any money that I do get is through donations, and I appreciate it. It helps compensate for my time and so forth. Anyway, I love you guys. I really do. And I get such a kick out of your comments. I have so much fun reading your comments. And it's, you know, I get used to the same names over and over again. So I feel like I really know some of you. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Stay safe and stay blessed. Also, keep seeking truth, because deception, it'll bite you in your hinder parts. Good night, guys.